Hello everyone! Olá pessoal, what's good friends? Sejam todos muito bem-vindos a mais uma live, essa live de hoje com esse tema muito legal que vai ser 100% em inglês, então o que fazer quando sua maior dificuldade é a conversação em inglês. Então pessoal, eu vou convidar agora aqui a teacher Juliana Moore e essa live vai ser 100% em inglês para quem for assistir essa live depois gravada vai ter como colocar as legendas ali, tá bom? Em inglês. Então, bora lá. Deixa eu convidar aqui então a teacher Juliana. E, pessoal, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Gabi, Gamal, pessoal, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Juliana. What's
Hey,
good? Is everything okay?
yeah, it is. Thanks. It's a little bit dark here.
Okay. Juliana, thank you so much for accept this invitation to join me into this project of lives that we are spreading knowledge to our followers, our students. Thank you so much, Juliana, for accepting this invitation.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know. So this is actually you've been doing non-stop lives with other teachers. I saw you did with Monica Fisher.
Yes, Monica and other teachers. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Thanks. I appreciate your invitation. Yeah. Sure. Why not? It's nice.
Okay. So, Juliana, tell me a little more about yourself. So you're living in the USA right now. For how long you've been living there? Where are you from in Brazil? Tell me a little more about who's
Okay.
Juliana.
Okay. Hi guys. So I'm Juliana. So I'm from São Paulo. Actually, I'm from São Luís, but I grew up in São Paulo. And yeah, I've been living in New Jersey, here in the US for about 4 years. I moved here because of my husband. Yes, and yeah, pretty much I'm still teaching English. I've been teaching English for quite some time. And nowadays, I mostly focus on this program my mom and I recreated to help people, boost their speaking confidence in English. So yeah, so pretty much that's what I'm focused on nowadays.
Okay, so where you're living in the US?
I live in New Jersey.
New Jersey. What city is that?
Um, yeah, I don't like saying that. It's like a small town.
Okay. All right. In New
Yeah, it's
Jersey.
a small town. Yeah, because it's like a small town, and it's closer to Philadelphia. Just so you guys, I live in South Jersey. We say South Jersey, because it's closer to Philadelphia and a little bit far away from New York. So I'm not close to New York. Yeah.
Okay, and you're from São Paulo? What city in São Paulo?
São Paulo.
São Paulo, okay, the
Yeah.
capital. São
Yeah,
Paulo one. Yeah.
yeah, actually I was born in Maranhão, São Luís, Maranhão, and then I grew up in São Paulo. Yeah.
Okay, and
So
did you know your husband in Brazil or in the US?
online.
So because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I met him on a language learning website.
Okay,
So yes.
that's cool. So it's the proof that website chats and or apps it works
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think that was definitely one of the tools that I started using when I was learning English, going online, meeting people. Yeah. So,
Okay, that's great. That's great. Love that. So, Juliana, we are going to talk today about what stops you from communicating in English, which means conversation. To have a conversation in English and to keep that on. So, for mostly of people, they just they struggle with that because they want to talk. For example, if they get to a place, they start a conversation. They already, if they don't remember a word. Oh my God, I can't remember the words when I start talking. I feel myself. I don't feel confident. I can't express myself. So that's kind of what would you say? Um, what do you say to your students and to your followers? What is the solution for that?
I think what this happens because we are so, I think as English learners, we both learn English. This is our second language. And I also used to be that kind of student when I started learning. So I think it's mostly we try to we obsess over being perfect and knowing everything in order to speak English. So like when we make a mistake while having a conversation with someone, we feel so bad that we get stuck, right? We feel like embarrassed. We feel ashamed. I think it's mostly not embarrassed, but ashamed. So a lot of people, when they having a conversation, they mispronounce a word or they make a mistake, they feel this kind of stops them from communicating because they focus so much on that mistake that they forget they could keep going because sometimes the person that you're talking to is not really worried, you know, like, or like, for example, when I say something here, like, and the person doesn't understand, right? They normally would say, what do you mean? And okay, so they didn't understand what I said. Let me try to explain this in a better way. So I think that what I normally tell people, don't obsess over, you know, the grammar rules, making mistakes, because that's going to happen. You can control everything, you know. Um, yeah, I think that that's what I would say. That's what I normally say, actually. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to tell a story about
Yeah.
my experience with that. For example, when I was a child, I couldn't say any one complete sentence in English. I couldn't because English for me was a thing that my mother said, "Oh, that's for rich people. Come on, you are not going to learn. Why do you need? Why do you want to learn other languages?" But I've been always interested in learning new languages. So today I'm fluent in 5 languages and I'm
Ooh.
learning now Russian. So because I love that, I always loved that. And when I had the chance to go to Europe, I started to see people who spoke people who speak English and other languages. So I started all the time uh, in my job on my job in my job in the restaurant, asking, how do I say this, how do I say that, all the time, every single moment I was asking, I was learning from them new words. How do we say, I don't know, panela? How do I say to cook this, to do
Mhm.
that? And I started to have some vocabulary, and I started to try to talk to the foreigners, to the gringos, to the German, French, English people, Spanish, and I didn't know how to say not yet a full sentence. So I talked to them. Hey, hello, what's good? Is everything okay? And I spoke with lots of mistakes, but I could communicate. So my focus was always on communicating myself.
Mhm.
But what happens? So what happens in Europe? What I felt over there is that people, they don't have a perfect English. They don't want to speak as native people. For example, if you speak to French people, they don't care about losing their accent, their French accent. They don't care about mixing a few words or vocabulary from French. They just mix that, and they just don't care. And we Brazilians, we always try to be perfect. For example, if I don't know how to say, for example, I want to say, how could I say that? I want to say a word chic, for example, but I don't know
Yeah.
how to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say to myself, oh my God, how do I say this word? Hey, you don't have to care about that. Say another word. You
Yeah.
have to focus on communicating. So we try to say the correct word, the perfect word for that perfect time. And this is not gonna happen when you're learning a new language. You are
Yeah.
going to get that vocabulary. You are going to improve your vocabulary as you are growing, improving your vocabulary, and it takes time. It's going to
Mhm.
be not in a short time, not in a few months. You are going to take maybe a few years for that. For
Yeah.
example, so what I say to all the Brazilians always, and I reinforce all the time, is don't care about using the correct word. Just focus on communicating, focus on giving your message, and make yourself uh, understand what people say. Focus on understand and make people understand your message.
Yeah.
So if you say what you want to say, and if you understand what people tells you back, that's great. That's this is it. This is it. Yeah. So why do I tell that? Because I learned English uh, after I was 24 years old. So
Mhm.
I was 24 years old. So until today, my English is not perfect. I don't have a perfect English, perfect accent. I don't have that vocabulary of a native or a quite native, but I don't care. I can communicate. I can do
Yeah.
all my stuffs, all my business in English. I can work with native people, with people who speak people who speak English. So this is the focus: communication. Communication.
Yeah.
What
Mhm.
what do you say else out of it, Juliana?
I think what you said, I mean, it says it all because I think, that's I try to tell people that as well, like communicating English, and you're gonna make some mistakes. Sometimes people try to, as you said, try to find a complex word in that sentence. Like, for example, instead of it's okay for you to say, "Oh, that's a nice movie," instead of saying, "Oh, this is such a superb," or even like, they try to find like the perfect word I use as a complex word to say something simple. So sometimes instead of like overthinking, trying to find a complex word, just use a simple word because in spoken language, we are more relaxed. We are more relaxed. It's all about, as you said, communicating. Now, if you're writing, it is different. Depending on what you're writing, of course, you have to find a better way to explain that. So you're going to use more complex words. But guys, when it comes to communication, no. Find a simple word. You can use very nice. It's a nice job. Awesome. I use it all the time. I don't really try to complicate my life when I'm communicating with you guys here or even at work, because they use the same words. So I think is that it's just like stop overthinking, try to over obsess the perfect grammar. It is important grammar. You need to know grammar, you need to know how to build sentences, but don't let this get in the way because you learned in Europe where we have completely different experience with English, but we got to the point that we wanted to communicate. We wanted people to understand our message and we wanted to be able to express ourselves. So, and I think we Brazilians, We
We try to
try
be
to,
perfect, so perfect, and we
yes,
just have to accept that we are not that perfect.
yeah.
As a polyglot, Jeff Kaufman, he says, um, you don't have to be that glass of that crystal glass. How do I say that?
Hmm.
Is that crystal glass that is going to break for anything? Just don't feel as you such that crystal glass that is going to break for anything. You have to accept that you're not perfect and you're learning a new thing, and you are
Hmm.
putting yourself. You have to put yourself to make mistakes, to
Yeah.
learn from your mistakes. So you have to accept that you're not perfect in that. For example, um, a um, public tender, for example, a
Hmm.
person who I don't know, for example, an engineer who makes really perfect his job all the time, and he's used to be that perfect guy, so I do this well, I do this perfect all the time, but I don't speak English. So, as I am now starting to speak another language, oh my God, but I'm gonna feel ashamed. I'm gonna feel ashamed because I'm an awesome engineer, for example, and I can't accept that I'm not good at
Hmm.
something. So this is a feeling that we don't have to have. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have to have that. I'm gonna tell you another short story. I have a conversation meeting in Brasilia. It's
Hmm.
in person, but it's closed now because of the pandemic, and now it happens on internet.
Hmm.
So I get people sometimes, mostly of the times, people who goes there and they just feel in shock. They just listen, but when it's their time to talk, they just say, "Oh, but I prefer to listen. I prefer to listen." I say, "No, just introduce yourself. Come on, you can do it. Just say your name. Just tell us what do you work with, what do you do for a living." So, and this person starts talking, and this person starts talking when this person sees is already talking to us, having a conversation. So you see, it's most about it's mostly about the afraid of
Yeah.
starts. And I have other cases. For example, um, there is a girl and a few others, but especially this girl. She doesn't speak English with her grammar is horrible, her accent too, but she doesn't care. She goes there. She is confident because she's good at some other thing. So she just she speaks with her mistakes. She doesn't care about that, and she smile all the time of her mistakes. And this girl, each time more that she goes to the meeting, she can talks better. She can talks better because of that, because she's not afraid and she knows that she's going to make mistakes and
Yeah.
keep learning from her mistakes. So this is a
Yes.
good, a great example that I give to other people. Uh, just put
Yeah.
yourself.
I.
Know that you're not perfect. Uh, make mistakes. You know you are going to make mistakes, but write it down your mistakes and correct them. for the
Mhm.
next time that you're going. So you are going to keep with it up, and you are going to talk each time
Yeah.
better than the other.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely true. I actually we have actually my sister is a good example of that. You know, she's learning, she takes part in our speaking sessions, and she has trouble with grammar, but I never see a person that is so willing to volunteer herself to speak, to ask questions, and I feel that she's confident, even though she hasn't reached a higher level in English, even though her grammar, she's still working on her grammar pronunciation. And I think, guys, one thing that you need to know, you don't need to reach a higher level in order to be confident. You don't need to learn all the perfect grammar pronunciation in order to become confident in English. No, you can be confident without having that. As you said, this is student, like my sister. So just try to, and you only get confidence by taking risks, by taking the, and I think the first step is the hardest. When you come, the first time that you come out of your comfort zone, the other time's gonna make it so much easier for you. But I feel like when you don't do that, you're never gonna know, you know, what you're capable of. Sometimes you're capable of doing so many things in English, but you just don't allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone, you know? And I feel like I love to see students who became confident, even though they're still learning the language, they're still trying to reach their goals. And so confidence doesn't come with fluency. Confidence comes with you taking risks, putting yourself out there, and that can happen with anybody, a beginner, intermediate, or whatever, any person, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Because, for example, to come here and to start this live, for
yeah,
example, I'm sure this is not easy for you, neither for me. So,
yeah,
but we just put ourselves into it because we want it. We want to
yeah.
learn. We want to face our, how could I say that? Our scares.
Demons.
Sorry.
Demons. My mom says that. Face our demons.
Face our demon. Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
our
demons. Yeah, she says that all the
yeah,
time, my
yeah,
mom.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this is it. Just face your demons and go ahead.
yeah.
Juliana, so tell me a little more about your story.
Mm-hmm.
When you started learning English, and how was that for you to get yourself feeling confident to have
Mm-hmm.
communication in English? How long it took? Tell your story until you get confident. How old was you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, my mom, she speaks English, so she kind of inspired me to speak the language, you know. So, but I've always loved, as you said, I've always loved languages. I've always loved English. So that definitely was not something hard for me to. I was really curious about languages, so I started learning through movies and songs until up until the moment my mom hired an English private teacher. So I took private lessons when I was 16. So I took English lessons for about 5 years. So when I got to the point where I was able to communicate better, the grammar, and then I decided to stop having classes, and I decided to invest in maybe traveling to the US and seeing and traveling abroad and seeing what it's like to communicate with people, you know, to put into practice the English I've learned. But I learned in Brazil, guys. So I was, besides having private lessons with my teacher, I knew I needed to practice outside with other people. Um, I was really shy, I perfectionist. So I decided, okay, the best way to practice is with strangers through those chat rooms. At that time, there was no Instagram and social media, so I was pretty much going to those websites like chat rooms, Live Mocha, Buzu, to try to interact with people, not only English native speakers, but non-native English speakers. So that's what I was doing, you know, in order to feel more confident, speaking with strangers on the internet and taking lessons. Yeah. So,
And
I
how
mean,
long it took since you started learning until you feel yourself until you
mhm.
started communicating
Okay.
to other people, people
Well,
from
I think
abroad.
it probably took me, I think, like, I was taking lessons with a teacher and I was still not there. I was still not confident. So I would say probably it took me like probably 3 years or 2 years to really put myself over there, you know, out there. But yeah, so I would say that it took me about 2 years to really become used to, not become fluently, okay? Not become fluent. But I would say that it took me 5 years to become, to really have the a nice level of grammar, to really feel like I can write, I can listen, I can speak, I'm able to do a job interview in English. So it took me 5 years of studying the language, and probably around that time, I was speaking with people every single day in English. So I had my classes with my teacher, and I was online every single day meeting you, meeting other learners. I was pretty much speaking English with people from other countries. So, and I think that helped me a lot because when I became a teacher, or when I came abroad, I traveled to Vancouver. Yeah, I was at the
Sorry,
beginning.
sorry, I'm having an allergy here.
No, no
So
problem.
yes,
Okay, yeah,
in a few seconds.
okay, I get it, no problem. So yeah, I think it took me about a time, like to really feel confident. I would say like 5 years, like having formal lessons with a teacher, and then probably 2 years to really put me out there, you know, like, so when I came to the US, when I traveled to Vancouver, that was 10 years ago, I was very confident. I didn't have any problems to communicate at the airport, to talk to people, because I was so used to talking to strangers that that was not actually a barrier.
So because you're a communicate a person, a communicate, how could I say that?
Communicative?
Uh, communicative
Yeah.
person. So you just goes there and you talk to people
Yeah.
and you just do that. But mostly of people, they are a little shy. They don't feel that confident.
Yeah.
So what are your advice for those people?
Yeah. I mean, I was not confident, guys, when I started. So for me, it was easier to talk to strangers than talking to people I knew, like my friends. So I just created a rule. I'm gonna try to speak English online with people that I don't know, so we can become friends and we can speak English. But I was looking for people that didn't speak Portuguese. So that was my goal. I'm not gonna make friends with people that speak Portuguese because my goal is to communicate with other learners that don't speak either Spanish or Portuguese. So I was just going online on these. Nowadays we have tons of apps and websites that you can, like, you know, join and meet people. And that's what I was doing back in the day. I was sending people a message, trying to connect with them. And the more you talk, the more you meet people, you start putting yourself out there. So that's how I became more confident, by talking to strangers online. So if you are an introvert person, if you're shy, you start online, start chatting with someone. No camera. If you don't want to show your face, audios or writing emails. I was doing from emails to audios or talking on the app with people. And that's how you build up your confidence. So when I came to Canada, when I traveled abroad for the first time, that was not a problem because I was used to speaking with the strangers. So
Yeah, yeah,
I think you can start from online. If you don't want to talk to other people, if you don't feel ready to take a part into maybe a group speaking session or to join a language exchange group, whatever, just start on the internet little by little, you know, but you got to do something. You got to do something. You got to find what works best for you and
yeah.
to make you learn into your personality too, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree. And for me, I think we have also to have a goal. We
Yeah.
have to have for example, why you're learning English? Why is it for? So
Mm,
this is going to make you have this courage, this to face those demons, this courage, because you have your goal. So, for example, I'm gonna talk right now a little bit about my the goals that I already achieved by
mm-hmm.
speaking English, by being an English communicator. I don't know if I could say that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I went to Europe, I've been to Europe for 3 times. The first time,
Mm-hmm.
3 years. Second time, 1 year.
Wow.
Um, 3 years, 1 year, and this third time, 6 months. So I had the how can I say that? I could work in several places, several restaurants because I was a chef over there. I cook Latin, Italian, Portuguese, and Brazilian food. So,
Mm-hmm.
but without speaking English, you can't work in other places, in restaurants or in places like that, because you can't communicate yourself with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to speak English. So I had this chance of working for 3 times as a kitchen chef in Portugal, in Spain, in Paris, in London, in Switzerland, and I went to Moscow to visit my friend, a Russian friend, and I visited Greece, Turkey, all of that because of English. Because if I couldn't speak English, I couldn't work in other countries. I couldn't travel to countries where they don't speak Portuguese or Spanish. So you have to speak English because it's going to open the world, the door of the world the
Yeah.
world for you. So, Juliana, tell me about the achievements that English brought to your life.
Mm-hmm.
I give a few examples because I want to tell to all of our students or the ones who are following us, our followers, our friends, our colleagues, that you have to have a goal. You have to have a clear goal that you want to achieve, and English, that English is going to help you with that.
Yeah.
So my goal was that to work in other countries, to travel to other countries, to get to know the stories, the culture. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, this is it. So tell me a little more about your goals, your achievements that English brought
Mm-hmm.
to your life, and what would you say to those people who don't know yet really clear their goals in life that English could bring that for them?
Yeah, I think that, you know, nowadays, I think my mom, when I started learning English, she saw that. She told me, look, by speaking English, it brought so many job opportunities for her when she was growing up. So she wanted me to have the same thing. She wanted me to be able to get a job somewhere where I could use English. So my first internship, I did an interview in English and I got the job because I knew English, even though I never used English there. But, you know, in case they needed, someone would be able to speak English. So that was my internship. I also work in retail. And once we have foreigners walk into the store, and I was the only one who could speak English. So that also opened doors because sometimes we don't even know when we're gonna be using English, right? We never know, like living in Brazil, when you're gonna be able to help someone that doesn't speak the local language. So it brought me a lot of opportunities when I was not expecting, to be able to help tourists, to be able to help people that couldn't communicate in Portuguese, traveling around Brazil, helping tourists, and I think it also, I've always wanted to teaching. When I became a teacher, I've always wanted to teach abroad, teach English abroad, and learn another culture. That didn't happen, but I ended up being here, and I think it helped me so much here. If I didn't speak English, I wouldn't have been able to adapt well to the culture, to the local culture, which is really important. I wouldn't be able to get a good job here because it's really hard, you know, as an immigrant to get a job here. And if you don't speak English at all, the chances are really low. So yes, speaking English has opened doors here for me, not only job-wise, but also to connect with Americans, to understand about the local culture, to make friends. So being here in the US is really, really important to speak the language. But when I was in Brazil, it has opened doors for me as well, in terms of jobs, getting a job, or, you know, being in São Paulo or traveling to Rio. That was really helpful to speak English as well. So I think, you know, guys, if you try to have a go, try to, even if you need for your job and your boss, you know, requires you to speak English, try to see, like, what is your goal? Okay, your boss is asking you, but would you like to get a promotion abroad? Would you like to work abroad? Would you like to travel? Just like Emerson did, you know, he wanted to travel, work abroad. What do you want to do with English? You know, it's not only I want to become fluent. That's not a goal. That's just the end result. What do you want to do with English? You want to help people. You want to be a volunteer abroad. What do you want? I just wanted to be able to communicate and travel. That was my goal. I wanted to travel to other places and be able to use English. And I ended up being here. That was not my plan, but it happens. But, you know, just try to have a really realistic goal. Yes, I would say that. Not become fluently. What do you say, Emerson? Do you really think become fluent is a goal? We all want that, but
Yeah, I totally agree. This is not the end to become fluent in a language. This is only a part of your goal.
yes,
So you are going to use this fluency, this ability of communicating yourself in English to achieve another thing that you like in your life,
yeah,
another thing that you want to achieve, another goal. So yeah, this is it. So totally agree. So Juliana, I'm gonna see here. Let me see if we have any questions.
let me see.
Let's see.
Oops, I cannot, like, I don't scroll that well. Learn English, yeah. Teacher Leon, learn English and the culture, that's for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So we have teacher teacher
Leon.
Leon. Teacher
No,
Leon.
Teacher Leon. Teacher Leon.
Teacher Leon. Welcome, Teacher Leon. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you guys have any question, just go ahead, and write it down. We are going to answer them. So, Juliana, so I think we delivered delivered what we were here to.
Yeah.
So I just would like to complete with another question, another
Okay.
thought. So you started teaching English a few months ago. Why did you started teaching English? So tell us a little bit about why is teaching English for you.
I actually started teaching English when I was still in Brazil, out of college. It was by accident. I don't have like, I was out of college, graduated with a degree in marketing, and I didn't want to pursue that degree. So I just decided to take a risk because I've always loved the language. And eventually I started my career in Brazil. I've been teaching English for about 13 years. Yeah, I've always loved English, you know, learning the language. And when I start seeing like, oh, what is it like to be a teacher, help out other people, let me see how it goes. And then eventually I just fell in love with teaching as well. And I decided to pursue that, decided to do a master's in Brazil. And then I went online. I started working for myself. So, you know, I'm always
Maybe help other people as we are
yeah,
doing here right now.
yes, yes. And I also taught foreigners. I taught some other cultures online when I was here in the US. So, yes, I just love, you know, I think that not only teaching them, you know, stuff about English, but I also like to try to motivate them to share a little bit of our own experiences, learning the language, and you know, and tell them what is really important. You know, not only learn the language, the culture, but how you can reach your goal. You know, so yeah, I think I just love teaching. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So, this is it. I have this conversation room, fazendo jabá. How could we say fazendo jabá in English?
Ai, jabá, is that
Do you know that
is that from
expression in
Brasília?
Portuguese?
Fazendo
Sorry?
jabá is probably something else they say in São Paulo. What does it
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Fazendo marketing, just
Ah, okay, okay, yes.
do,
Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
So, I have this conversation room every Wednesday. If you guys want to know, to get to know a little more, just go on my how could I say that? Just inbox me, DM me. That I'm going
Mhm.
to say you guys to send the link for you guys to participate of this meeting. And Juliana, what do you have? Do you have an online course, English conversation rooms? Make
Mhm.
your jabá, please. Go ahead.
Jabá, I love that word. Okay, guys. So yeah, you can find me on this page here where I teach you guys real life vocabulary, a little bit about the American culture. But I also have another Instagram page which mostly focus on is a speaking mini course program for people who really want to take part in our group speaking sessions and really boost your speaking confidence. So this is especially for people who are still struggling with speaking, not for people who speak fluently and not for people who are really confident. That's for people who are not confident yet. So I'm even going to put here, we have another Instagram page. We just started out and I run with my mom. So we teach together this program. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm pretty much, yeah. So this would be a speaking mini course program. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, guys, if you want any help, any other help, just I'm sure you guys can DM me, can DM
Sure.
Juliana. We are going to help you. any question, anything that you guys want to say, you want to talk about, just come to us that we are going to help you for sure. We are here for
Yeah.
that. Juliana, thank you so
Thanks.
much for accepting this invitation. Thank you so much. This is a project that I'm really into it, to talk to other teachers, to get to know their thoughts, their feelings, their opinion
Mhm.
about learning, teaching English. So this, I'm sure it can it can make us a better teacher. We can teach better with that
Yeah.
by getting more knowledge. This is the goal of I think every teacher, to teach and to learn each time more. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you so much for that. And
Sure.
if you want to if you need anything, or if you want to talk about something, or do another video about I don't know, any subject, I'm here for that. I'm ready wherever you need it. So thank you so much,
That's
Julia.
awesome. Definitely. That's definitely something to keep in mind for later. Yeah. That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Emerson. Thank you guys for being here. And really hope you guys can take away something from this live. Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, guys. Thank you so
See
much,
you
Juliana.
guys.
Bye bye.
See
Bye bye.
ya.
Thank you.
Bye.